Uncharted the movie exists. Just to be clear before I start the review, I never played any of the Uncharted games before. I might have heard of them, mostly because of PlayStation All-Stars, but I never got the chance to play any of them. So this will be from the perspective of a newcomer to this franchise, and if the movie represents what the games are like, then I would just watch Indiana Jones again because this movie was underwhelming. The story here is just your typical global treasure hunt film, with all the same cliches and tropes you can find in those types of movies being present here. Now, cliches aren't inherently bad, as a basic script can be saved by its execution. Take a look at the Sonic movie. Even though its story is just a generic buddy road trip comedy, its execution made the story funny, and at times, emotional. And seeing Jim Carrey go back to doing his usual 90s shtick is always a treat. Uncharted doesn't do that. The execution of the already bland script doesn't help much as it makes the film lackluster and dull at times. Same thing with the characters. They aren't interesting in the slightest, and feel more vessels to have cool action scenes. And the worst part is, there's a mid-credit scene that actually felt like the Uncharted movie I came to see. It was unique and had its own sense of identity compared to the rest of the film. Too bad it was only a few minutes long and kept it black before anything interesting happened.
The next thing to note here is the acting. It's bad.
Most of the cast here sounds so uninterested in the script, and that shows in their performance. Especially with Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. When he was announced for the role, I was momentarily confused at first, but ultimately gave him a fair chance to see if he could play Nathan Drake well. He did not.
You're kind of weird, kind of cute too.
I'm kind of offended, but I'm also kind of flattered.
Wow, great acting. I've never seen such a passionate performance since Pauly Shore's Pinocchio.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own?
Even though his stunt work is actually impressive, Tom Holland's performance here in any scene that isn't an action scene was at best unenthusiastic and at worst barely trying. Like, there's a scene where the main villain surprises Nathan Drake, and you know how Tom reacts to that?
Oh, Jesus.
That's the best take? The only actor here that sounded like he was trying was Mark Wahlberg as Victor Sullivan. And seeing his performance here made me wish that he was Nathan Drake instead of Tom. So, other than a bland script, weak acting, and generic characters, the only other thing I can say about this film is that the action scenes are pretty good. They're well choreographed, well acted, have decent visual effects most of the time, and the cinematography and the musical score really adds to the action happening on screen. And that's all I have to say for the Uncharted movie. While not bad, it certainly isn't something worth watching. Although it has good action and entertaining post-credit scene, and a great performance by Mark Wahlberg, those alone cannot save this film from a generic script, bland characters, and weak acting. For my recommendations, I suggest that you should skip this film and go watch the Uncharted fan film with Nathan Fillion. It handles the source material much better and actually has some decent acting, especially with the aforementioned Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake. You would have a much better time there than with this movie in my honest opinion. So Uncharted the movie gets a 5 out of 10. Now, with that out of the way, what's the next video game movie adaptation happening this year?
Sonic, meet Knuckles.
Shut up and take my money.